Hello, my friends. Dr. Boyd here, and I wanted to share something really exciting with you. So, when I was growing up, I had two sets of grandparents, like most of us did. And both of those sets of grandparents, they all smoked. And it was one of these things where I heard kind of all the excuses. It's like, well, it's a different generation. Well, it's the World War II generation. Like it was, watch us, but don't do this, right? And it was one of these things where, I mean, heck, I used to go get the ashtray for my grandmother, even. And then she was like, don't do this. This isn't good for you. So even as a kid, I had like this idea that smoking was bad. And then ultimately saw all of my grandparents that their lives were shortened because of smoking. Right. So between that at a very young age, and then of course being a physician and knowing all the things that go along with smoking, and then common sense, you know, smoking is one of these things that it's still around, and one could even argue that a lot of this country was actually built off of tobacco, and of course all the massive profits big tobacco has made and everything over the years. So whenever there's something that comes along that actually can help reduce smoking rates, I get excited about it. Here's the thing, is that when you actually look at smoking cessation or quitting smoking, there's not that many things that are out there. There's a drug that's been around for a long time that's a nicotine receptor blocker that it's helped some folks, but a lot of times it causes a rebound depression. So it's not even really prescribed that often. There's the just quit cold turkey method, which is only successful about 10% of the time. There's the weaning method, which is more successful, about 60%, where if you're at a pack a day, then you slowly like work your way down. And if you're anything like me, you probably still have family members that even though they know it's not a good idea, they still smoke. So what a study that was just done, I'm going to show it to you here now, that is really, really exciting. And this literally, it was just published the other day, is that psilocybin in one dose, in a 30 milligram dose, pretty big dose, just one dose of psilocybin, those folks were still not smoking 6 months later. That's about a 40% success rate compared to the control group that was at 10%. This wasn't a massive study. There was only 42 people. But the reason why this is significant, and the reason why I pointed out to you in the first place, is because it does actually two things. Number one, it actually instills some hope that maybe, just maybe, there might be something here that you can actually start having some laws change. For those of you that don't know, psilocybin, it's considered a class 1 controlled substance. What that means is that it's literally it's dumped in the same group as heroin, for example. This goes all the way back to the MacArthur administration back in the 1960s, where they just kind of, at that time there was a lot of exploration that was going on with the like the hippie movement. So they were like, no, we just got to pull all these things into one bucket, essentially. Just throw them all in together. Research shows otherwise, and in research circles and such, there's been a lot of investigation into psilocybin. It's actually legal in the state of Oregon, and other states, Arizona included, is actually creating task force to maybe do a slow rollout, kind of like with what they did with marijuana, only do it in more of a controlled manner. Those of us that have actually studied the substance and even tried the substance and everything, you can actually look and see it's actually relatively very, very safe. It's almost impossible to overdose on. It can work very well, particularly when it comes to psychoactivity. And if you look at Silicon Valley, I mean, oh my God, like we wouldn't have Google, we wouldn't have the iPhone, we wouldn't have any of those things had it not been for things like psilocybin and some of those more psychoactive substances and such. So the reason why I'm excited about this is maybe, just maybe, we might be having kind of a behavior change when it comes to the way these substances that are very, very have a high potential of improving life, that the stigma may be lifted. And then the second thing is for those folks that do smoke, you're looking at about, 250,000 people a year die in the United States from smoking related causes, whether that's lung cancer or heart disease or vascular problems or whatever the case may be. You're looking at millions of people worldwide when we zoom out. So what's really amazing with this is we may be having some actual significant change that's occurring. And that in itself is really, really very, very exciting. So I share this with you just to keep you in the loop on things and on new and exciting things that are happening. And then of course, I would be remiss if I didn't say, if you or a loved one is struggling with tobacco addiction, it's one of those things that it really is. It's the hardest substance that there is to quit. 40 times more addictive than heroin, even. And so if you had to choose, or you or someone you know, if they had to choose one thing that would improve their health tremendously, it is quitting smoking. Even someone who's a 40 pack year smoker, meaning they've smoked a pack a day for 40 years, if they quit smoking for just 48 hours, the cilia, which are these little hair-like projections that are in our respiratory tract, that when you cough, they help propel mucus upward. Cilia start working again even after decades of smoking. So there's a lot of health benefit to it. So I share that information with you because knowledge ultimately is power, and love and appreciate you guys. So remember, health is wealth. Invest in yourself. I'll talk to you again soon.